Someone important told Darren he would never amount to anything.
He's taught me that I can be anything I want to be.
If you looked at his grades in school, he could not be one day the president of Phoenix Suns or the president of Allied Signal or the Arizona Republic newspaper.
I've learned how to keep my attitude straight.
But today, Darren is a straight A student.
I've been in the shelter. I've lived in bad neighborhoods.
Darren's family was in a homeless shelter because the mother left California where she was in an abusive situation.
We usually had nothing, and we usually forgot our stuff at the other apartment, trying to get out of there so fast.
You're dealing with homeless children.
Robert's a good role model.
I think some days I'm a big brother, some days I'm like a father, some days I'm a close friend.
It's great now.
If it was not for the United Way, we would not have the mentor program, we would not have a lot of things that are out here available to the kids today.
Either an FBI police officer or a firefighter.
He's really changed a lot, and I've seen him grow up. Even at 10 years old, I've seen him grow a lot in 2 years.
I think it would be fun to be a firefighter. That's what I want to do mostly.
Hemophilia is a genetic disease, and it's the inability of a person's blood to clot normally.
The main problem with hemophilia was that it was extremely isolating. I really missed a lot of school, and I didn't really get to have a lot of camaraderie with my friends. Going to school is basically an investment to a future, and I felt I had none. So why invest? I was basically a hoodlum who just caused trouble. I didn't care if I was gonna go to jail or get shot. I never knew anyone who had hemophilia besides my uncle, and he passed away at a very early age.
As if hemophilia wasn't enough, along comes the HIV virus that causes AIDS, which was mixed into the medicine that hemophiliacs were taking.
When he rotted away the way he did at 25, I thought that's how I was gonna go.
Summer camp, like Camp Honor, it's not about death and it's not about dying. It's about living.
I really got an opportunity to have fun and express myself in a way that I never had a chance to. At the end of Camp Honor, we have a pine cone ceremony. When a kid dedicated his pine cone to me, for me being the greatest counselor on earth, I've never been so moved in my life. I've never felt so proud and happy.
I saw Tony put his head down on the table and cry. And to me, that was a sign that he was ready. Tony now visits children in the hospital when they're sick, when they have problems. And I think that because the kids know that Tony has been through the exact same things, there's an ability there to communicate, sometimes even without words.
I see a lot of kids who are going through a lot of things at a very young age, and I'm glad to be a part of that and to be around these kids who are absolutely amazing and courageous.
Because as you get older, you just can't do the things you used to do.
It keeps them from being isolated, and that's one of the biggest problems I think that many seniors face.
I was asked to come over, and I didn't really want to come because it was a bunch of seniors. And I thought, who wants to go over there with a lot of old folks? But after I once got over there and found out these old folks weren't so old, why, it was a lot of fun.
We have wellness classes.
We have raffle tables.
Classes in creative writing.
Have 2 or 3 social affairs through the year.
Dancing.
We have dances.
Oil painting.
Of course, dancing.
Exercise classes.
Just something to do all the time.
A place where everybody knows your name.
Makes you get up in the morning and clean up and get out of the house, and you got a purpose to go, you know, and We're enjoying it. We really are.
Yeah. You don't wear the same shirt all the time. In other words, when you get up, you take a bath and you put on a clean shirt and you go.
It's meeting a need that would not be met in any other way.
It just makes you feel good and warm inside. And when you go home, you feel like it's a day well worth being.
We all have a tendency as Americans to think that it's never going to happen to us.
You never know when you or somebody in your family or someone you love is going to need those services of a United Way agency.
We were in a car accident about 3 years ago.
I basically broke every bone in my face and did quite a bit of closed head wound injury as well.
Both my clavicles were broken, and I also had head injuries, and I crushed my foot.
I had a stroke of the optic nerve, which left me completely, totally blind.
So when I woke up in Scottsdale Memorial, I didn't know whether Stephen was dead or alive.
I was depressed a lot in the first years, you can well imagine. And I really couldn't see going on with this disability. My life was over as I knew it, and I was going to have to learn a whole new way of adapting and getting on with my life.
And had United Way not been there for us in the long run, there wouldn't have been anyone to be able to come out and teach Stephen mobility training, teach me how to be a guide, teach Stephen how to brush his teeth, comb his hair, shave.
And shower and cook and clean, things you just take for granted. I had to learn to do those as a blind person. Right now, I'm very optimistic about my life. I've got a wonderful wife and wonderful boys. I don't ever want my boys to think of their dad as a blind dad. I just want them to think that they have the greatest dad in the world who just happens to be blind.